Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Hipster Podcast. This is your host, Jamil Hassan, the Crypto Hipster, where I interview founders, entrepreneurs, executives, thought leaders, amazing people all around the world of crypto and blockchain globally. And today I have another amazing guest. He is the head of business development at Wallet and Telegram. His name is Tobias Lewis. Tobias, welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Jamil. Thank you very much for the invitation.
You're very welcome. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to this conversation. I look forward to getting into everything. So let's ask you the first question, though. It's what is your background, and is it a logical background for what you're doing now?
Well, my academic background is broadly in economics and Russian language. Professionally, I worked in corporate due diligence and translation between Russian and English for a while, which is basically vetting counterparties, assessing risk, litigation support, compliance, these sorts of things. That's mostly related to Western businesses who have work or clients in the CIS region. I would guess in broad terms, my economic background does help in terms of the financial aspects of Web3, tokenomics, etc. Due diligence has definitely helped me assessing counterparties in business development. As you know, in the space, there are a lot of less than reputable players, and it's really important to make sure you don't associate yourselves with any bad actors in Web3. But having said that, I'm not a smart contract developer. I'm a very casual Web3 user myself, and I was before I started working in the industry. So I guess in hindsight, it certainly makes sense that I'm doing what I'm doing, but it wasn't a logical outcome. And when I first joined, I'm not sure I expected to be here doing what I'm doing for as long as I have been. But I'm very glad to have been given the opportunity.
Awesome. I share some of the same sentiments. I'm not. I had opportunities in my career where I could have dove down a real technical path, but I am more of a generalist. I got a liberal arts degree undergrad. I like being on the the generalist view, so I understand. So Wallet, though, I want to find out what Wallet is all about, including your vision and mission as a company, but then also your mandate as the head of business development.
So look, in broad terms, for your listeners who may not be familiar, Wallet is the native on-platform cryptocurrency wallet that's integrated into Telegram's settings menu. So this has a custodial and a non-custodial section. It's basically two parts. There's a toggle at the top of the web app where you can switch between what is the non-custodial Web3 wallet and then the more custodial experience. The broad remit is to act as a universal gateway to crypto for the retail users who are on Telegram, who are using the app in the same way that, for example, people in the West use WhatsApp. So just as a day-to-day messenger, which for those who don't know, that is how Telegram is most predominantly known and used in the developing world or in the global South. And so people who are just using the app as a messenger, very often they discover by one way or another our platform and that there are these blockchain related services available. And they then start to use it. So of all the users that we've surveyed, 50 to 60% of them had never used a centralized exchange prior to joining the wallet. So they're a completely new sequestered audience outside the general Web3 audience that other projects are kind of competing over for their attention. And so with that remit of introducing these non-crypto native users to blockchain, we are basically trying to make the most accessible, beginner-friendly crypto wallet there is. So you come onto our wallet, it's a very simple user interface. There's limited functionality, which for a lot of people in the space is a negative, but for our audience, this is a positive because I think a lot of people forget. But if you're someone new to crypto and the first time you log on to even something like Binance or Coinbase, it can actually be quite intimidating. There's a lot of buttons, there's a lot of lights, and there's no way to ease into the experience. It's just kind of there presented to you all at once. Obviously, they have their own educational outreach programs like we do, but I think our first user experience really sets us apart from a lot of the competitors in the space. And also this sort of translates into like my work in BD and the whole way in which we've developed the product. So we've really focused on fundamentals that might be very boring for most people in Web3, but for our users, they're fairly innovative. So this is natively deployed USDT on Ton, natively deployed Tether Gold on Ton. We've recently just started, we've offered now X stocks. So these are NASDAQ tokenized stocks in partnership with Kraken and Backed Finance. Now, these are very basic, but they're actually the most popular things we offer our users. So a lot of them, they maybe have a domestic currency with a very high inflation rate, and they want to store their wealth in something that's linked to the US dollar. So that's USDT. Likewise, people may be from markets where it's hard to actually buy physical gold, but buying tokenized gold from Tether, this is the place to do it. So these are the sort of product elements we focus on, which for a lot of people are banal, but for our users are quite innovative, because we generally want to focus on underbanked. I don't want to say unbanked, because obviously most people in most places can get financial services of some kind, but let's say underbanked people who are in regions where there's heavy Telegram penetration. And again, just to mention one more big initiative of ours, we have an agreement with our on-ramp provider for zero fee USD onboarding. So $100 on a credit card gets you 100 USDT. It's one of the most competitive rates in crypto. And again, this is basically because it's a major friction point to someone coming into crypto for the first time. If you're saying to them, this is a digital dollar, but in order to get 100 digital dollars, let's say, I have to pay 103 actual dollars. There's a discrepancy there, and that's actually a friction point for a lot of our users. So in short, it's about making crypto usable and accessible for a retail audience that would be extremely put off by, you know, a first-hand experience with Bybit or Binance or these sorts of places.
And the charts on some of those exchanges, when you're looking at numbers, that you got to be like, you got to understand graphs. Some of these places, you know, and you're like, so okay, I'm a casual. Let's say I'm a casual Web3 user, because with Telegram I have chat rooms that, like, of my holdings that I'm connected to on Telegram. But you know, how can I go on my Telegram app, and then I get access to your platform? How can I do that?
So very simply, if you're not someone who has the wallet available by default in your settings, and this will be the case if your listeners are from Europe or the US, for example, you can just go to the search bar in Telegram, type in wallet, and it'll be there with a blue icon with a wallet symbol. It'll be the first thing you see. You click on that, and within maybe 2 clicks, you'll have an active account. You'll be able to immediately start using it. There are various thresholds where you need to pass KYC. So if you do a certain amount of volume, I believe it's like €1,000 a month or something similar, then you have to pass KYC. But again, one thing that I should probably mention at this point as well, what's cool about the solution is if I'm a wallet user, if I'm on Telegram, and I'm thinking, hey, this is a really cool solution, I want to show my friends, I can send a token to another Telegram user's handle instantly and for free. And even if they have never touched the wallet mini app, they will receive it. They will get a notification from the Telegram bot, and they'll be prompted to open a wallet, and they'll receive their money instantly. So it's really natively enmeshed into the social graph of Telegram itself, which again is one of the things that, if you're a retail user, are really important, because wallet addresses are really unseemly for someone who's never kind of experienced that before.
Yeah. My biggest problem, I've only been using it as a chat app, but I'd say 20 to 30, you know, chats a day from, you know, they're all Asian pictures of Asian girls. Wanted to say, like, no, I don't want to know who you are, you know, and I delete them. I block them immediately, but I block something like, how do you get your users to get by the spam and the junk and the phishing to be able to comfortably use your wallet? Because that seems to me like a cybersecurity risk.
Yeah, you're completely right. I mean, first thing to say before I answer, like we as a company, we're independent and commercial. We are separate to Telegram. We are not the same company, and so I can't answer for like the platform as a whole. I'm just representing the wallet itself. But I think there are a few kind of pillars to this. One is very simple and banal and may seem kind of like not really an answer to your listeners, but education is a big one because a lot of our users, not only are they not crypto native, they might not even be as financially literate as other people because they're underbanked. And so you send them a phishing link. On average, they may be more likely to click it than people who've been in Web3 for a long period of time. And so we have a very in-depth FAQ section. We do various kind of social media posts and a security series about, hey, this is the official wallet support bot. Don't tell anyone. If you're using the non-custodial wallet, you never tell anyone your private keys. If anyone messages you asking for XYZ, you need to check that it's got the verification mark from Telegram that you're talking to the official bot, those sorts of things. There, again, not speaking on behalf of Telegram, but I can say with the general problem of bots and malicious accounts on the platform, this is something that the introduction of Telegram stars has really helped with. So now, if you have a premium Telegram account, which by the way, I encourage everyone to get, I think it's a really great investment if you're spending a lot of time on the platform. You can set it so that if an account that is not in your contacts has to pay Telegram stars a small amount, 50, maybe 80 cents or more if you want to message you. And that's really for a lot of people in the Web3 space who are using Telegram, it's really helped with the spam problem. I have to admit, I've never really experienced this. I've been on Telegram for 5, 6 years now. I've been in the Web3 space a similar amount. I've never really had a problem with this. But I do hear people all the time saying, and I think it's just a digital hygiene thing. Like you need to not be joining random groups, clicking links from people who you don't know. Also, I encourage people to think twice before kind of scanning QR codes at conferences with your phone. I always personally I'll type in someone's handle. I don't scan anyone's QR code. I think that's a security risk. Yeah, so it's on the one hand, it's just educating users that yes, this is a risk on the platform, and by taking part, like you acknowledge this, and we'll do our best within our sphere of control to limit these things, but you need to be aware. And on the other hand, there are kind of platform-wide things like the introduction of Telegram stars that I think have limited these things. But in terms of like tokens or the assets we provide, I mean, we have a dedicated team that does risk assessment, that's constantly monitoring if there are any breaches in other ecosystems that might affect the token. And then on a case-by-case basis, we decide, do we continue to offer access in the custodial wallet to the token? Do we send them a notification that this has happened and they might want to trade out of it? We tend to do that on a case-by-case basis.
Got it. And you mentioned your competitors, and I don't want to list too many competitors by name, but I think I had like $45 of divvy on WhatsApp, and I changed from WhatsApp personal to WhatsApp professional, and the money wasn't there. I changed back to personal, and the money wasn't there. So that seems to be like a blockchain infrastructure, problem where I lost $45. Not a big deal, but how do you ensure that your background, that your platform is not only compliant, but that there aren't going to be like breaches, but just the general use, just the switching, back and forth from a platform. How do you ensure that their money is safe?
Like, look, again, not speaking on behalf of Telegram, I think what you've just described is actually ties into why, to a certain extent, we don't think there are other ecosystem competitors. And by ecosystem competitors, I mean kind of big tech Web2 platforms that are integrating blockchain. Our view is that Telegram is the only Web2 social media giant with both the technical know-how and the willingness to really go the full way and integrate this technology in a meaningful way. I actually think what you just described is probably a function of the engineers not having kind of I mean, look, we have a 7-year plus head start over the competition. Libra from Facebook is a very clear example that everyone knows about, where the company tried, failed, not a, or probably predominantly for compliance reasons, but not only. And I think there are, like, Telegram has a reputation of having some of the problems that you've just outlined, but I can say with certainty it is getting better. And just speaking about the wallet, we don't have any problems with kind of malicious activity within the ecosystem. So within the actual app itself. So anyone who's participating in any markets of the app, our rates of issues with that are really like negligible at this point. This is something we've been really working on over the last few years.
Great, awesome. Those are my basic questions. Now I got a more fun, serious, interesting question. Is you're bringing Telegram native DeFi to the U.S. market now that you've done really well in Africa and overseas. What do you see as some of the DeFi challenges and opportunities that you're embracing and you're working on bringing Telegram to the U.S.?
In short, look, the rollout of these features to the US is gradual, slow, but happening. So we recently gave access to the non-custodial part of the wallet in Telegram to US users. There's been a recent spate of Toncoin listings on big exchanges. I believe the latest one was on Gemini, which has definitely driven more interest in the ecosystem. So it's happening, but the things that mean the process is slow and we have to think carefully about it is what we mentioned before about the perception of Telegram, because it's used differently in the West as it is to the global South. And so the go-to-market strategy has to be different. Now, again, to be a broken record, like, we're not Telegram, so we can't really address those broader high-level issues. We have to work within it. And so we have to, our go-to-market has to just reflect the reality on the ground. And we generally only go to places where there are Telegram users. Now, there are 86 plus million Telegram users in the United States. So that's not an insignificant number. There is a market for us there. But we generally go to where Telegram has an extremely high penetration and there's an underbanked population, which, depending on how you look at it, is maybe like up to 4 billion people in the world. We've got, as Pavel Durov just said on stage at Blockchain Live yesterday, we have 1 billion monthly active users on the platform. So there's still a way to go for Telegram itself to get penetration, and then the wallet on top of that. We have around 100 million plus registered users. So that's maybe 10% of the users on the platform are aware of the wallet. So we, on the one hand, we're busy activating the users we already have. But we also need to look at other markets, including the US. But again, it's when there's only 86 million compared to, let's say, the 4 billion underbanked in the world, the 800 million left who are on Telegram but not in the wallet. It's a question of priorities, really. And again, it's not just the US. I mean, in general, our goal is to onboard 15 new countries in the next 2 years and onboard 30% of the Telegram user base by 2028. So that's 300 million odd users in the wallet, 15 new countries, and the US is just one part of that, I think.
Got it. I like how you said on the ground. So October was supposed to be, in my view, was supposed to be Uptober. And it was not October, so my view and a lot of people's view of on the ground, like, changes every day and changes as the wind blows, so where are we at right now? It was going to be done November too, or like where do we actually, and how is the DeFi space shifted, so that where are we at?
I think, I mean, this is slightly hackneyed at this point. I think people say this every time there's a downturn, but gradually and over time, people are focusing on value propositions and use cases. Like the times are long gone where you can just launch an L2 or an L1 and just expect the thing to take off and expect people to take a bet. Like people, I think as the industry has got more mature and retail has started to join, I think retailers really just dipping their toes in the water at this point. Um, the times where you can just attract liquidity with kind of vague promises and half-baked MVPs and vibe coding are kind of over. So I was recently at an event where we were speaking on the topic of mass adoption, which is kind of our bread and butter given the nature of our product, like the mass adoption of crypto. And uh, the people I was on stage with were very much in the mindset coming from EVM and having deep Web3 backgrounds that, if the more functionality we add, the more privacy we provide, the more decentralized our services, these are the things that people want. These are the things that will bring in retail because we're providing something that TradFi doesn't. I think over time we're going to see like a consolidation of activity in Web3 across a smaller number of blockchains. I think ones that have real value propositions behind them and actually cater to a very specific audience. So if you're a hardcore Web3 person and you want DeFi and you want non-custodial solutions and you've been in the space since 2016, then there are already a whole bunch of solutions available for you. That is what the space has been catering for a long time. Whereas if you're actually serious about mass adoption, then something like Ton, with its integration into Telegram as this distribution system, is probably the way forward. And our users, they're not coming to us because they want peer-to-peer financial networks. They're not coming to us because they're actually looking for speculative assets. They're coming to us very simply for remittances, saving in dollar-denominated assets in a way that they can't access because they maybe can't get access to a regular brokerage like other people. And so you'll have this segmentation of something like Ton, which has a very clear retail-based use case. Blockchain is almost incidental. Like our blockchain, I think technology-wise is very strong compared to a lot of the competitors, but it's very much in the background. Like blockchain is just, we incidentally happen to use Web3 for the functionality we offer our users. And then on the other hand, you'll have these other ecosystems that have their niche within the Web3 audience who are more, who want DeFi, who want non-custodial. And I think these are different audiences. And I think it's a mistake to believe that these classic Web3 ecosystems are actually going to attract the people, again, using Telegram in the same way that my mother is using WhatsApp.
That makes sense. So the DeFi opportunities are already there, and there may be or may not be more innovation, right, in the DeFi space. So if there is more innovation, how are you situated? How's Wallet situated to capture those opportunities where there is more innovation?
I mean, one of our constant processes is attracting what I would describe as like blue chip protocols to redeploy natively in our ecosystem. So the most recent example of that is Athena, USDE. Again, like that, people have different opinions about Athena. I happen to think it's a protocol with serious pedigree, and after the recent events, the fact that everything is still working, I think is commendable to the team and to the protocol. So they natively redeployed USDE on Ton. It's now had a full integration with the wallet, and we offer this as effectively a dollar savings option. So we explain to our users what USDE is. We explain what a synthetic stablecoin is and the risks associated with that, and Athena's strategy by which they generate yield. We're very open about that with our users, but we've made the integration, and with additional budgets provided by our partners, we boosted the yield, and at one point it got as high as 18% on USDE. Now it's 9%. The program's been going for quite a long time. And we want to do more of that. We want to find large TVL blue chip protocols from other ecosystems and offer them our distribution system, which is the Telegram social graph, which again, do you want your solution to be presented to these retail users who are never going to download MetaMask? This is never going to happen. Do you want access to them? If so, then we have the gateway for you.
I am not perfectly savvy with using MetaMask. It's difficult to use sometimes. So I don't want to get into all the problems I've had with that over the years, but I do want to talk on something else because you've mentioned it quite a few times, and that is mass adoption. Now, blockchain used to have three promises. I don't know where we're at in this. It used to be identity for the unidentifiable or unidentified. It used to be a voice for the voiceless, and it used to be banking for the unbanked, or in your case, underbanked, right? So a lot of people have lost sight of those promises. Some people never heard of them before, you know. So where are we at as an industry, as a sector, you know, in actually being able to deliver on those promises of blockchain? And how do you help with those three?
I think we're pretty far. I think the narrative, like you said, has definitely shifted a lot. There's a lot of emphasis, for better or for worse, on institutions coming into the space. They want big international brokerages to have holdings in crypto. One can decide for yourself the motivations behind those sorts of desires. And I think it's corrupted some of the narrative in the space, which is originally, from a personal level, what got me interested in the whole thing. What we're doing, so we as Wallet, our job is like very small, actually, within our ecosystem. We are in some ways the linchpin, in that we're the gateway for these users to kind of enter the blockchain space. But all we can do is, in a responsible, compliant way, present the functionality to our users. Speaking about the ecosystem in a broader sense, that is the Ton Telegram ecosystem, I would say, so yesterday, Pavel Durov on stage just announced the launch of Cocoon, which is basically a decentralized AI infrastructure that Telegram will be running. People can supply GPU power and be rewarded with Toncoin. I think the development of decentralized AI in Telegram, the wallet as this gateway to the broader functionality within Telegram, and then the tokenized, so we have tokenized Telegram usernames and anonymous phone numbers, which you can purchase with Toncoin on the Telegram platform called Fragment. So if you just type in fragment.com, you can go in there, connect your wallet, and purchase these things. So that's your social media tag that you own. This can never be taken away from you. The same goes for the phone number. So I think the building blocks for realizing as much as one can within the strictures that compliance rightly places on us for the good of the user base, fulfill those original, like in a closer way, fulfill those original ideals of the space. Now, this isn't that there are plenty of criticisms that can be laid at the ecosystem. I'm very well familiar with them. But I think we're moving in that direction. And if you go about it in a small ecosystem with where there's generally a lack of oversight, then yes, you may get closer to the ideal. But if no one's using your solution, then what really is the benefit of it? Like if you have no users, like if you perfectly instantiate these ideals, but you're not compliant and no one's using it, like what really is the benefit of it? Who has helped? Who has been helped? So I think we're trying our best within the restrictions we have to do just that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's a great answer. So I have one last question before that. I have two last questions.
Sure.
The first one is you started out the conversation by talking about education, right? So there's a Ton Academy, right, that helps educate users and investors on Telegram. How does it do that? And what's your role in helping with that education on for the Ton Academy?
So look, just to rewind slightly, the wallet and Ton Academy, what you've just talked about, for users who aren't familiar, these are web apps that are connected to Telegram channels in the app. So for a lot of people don't actually know this, that there are these web apps that can be launched from within Telegram if you go to the right channel, wallet being an example I've just given. But you can make, as long as it's built on Ton blockchain, you can make anything with these web apps. So the Ton Academy is an example of a learn to earn mini app. It's actually made by the Ton Foundation. They have a whole bunch of short courses which users can be given rewards for completing. The one they have going on now is for Athena. We at Wallet, we're also launching soon our own version of this. So a Wallet Academy mini app, very similar format, but it'll be focused more on topics relevant to wallet users and more general in Web3 as opposed to just Ton, which is obviously the purpose of Ton Academy. And again, the reason is, as we've kind of said a few times here, our users tend to be new to crypto, and we're trying to build awareness of what's possible in the Web3 world and also how to stay safe, because we're not blind to the sort of issues that you raised earlier. And these are if we can incentivize our users to educate themselves about how to go about navigating the space safely, then we feel a moral obligation to do that. So these mini apps with the learn to earn element, it's just simple onboarding to kind of build confidence amongst our user base to kind of explore the Telegram ecosystem in a way where they feel confident that they won't run into the problems that you mentioned before.
Got it. Got it. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. But I want to thank you very much for your time today. I enjoyed speaking with you. And I have one last question. It's easy. How can people find out more information about you and about Wallet?
I encourage everyone who's on Telegram, just type in Wallet to your search bar. You will see it. It'll be the first thing that has come up. If you're someone who's kind of been hesitant to get into crypto, I encourage you to check out our solution, just because it's the user experience is much more accessible and you won't be overwhelmed from the get-go. Obviously, I need to kind of stress, and it's not, it's, again, cliche, do your own research. Like, if anyone ever tells you to do X, Y, and Z, go away and double check them. Really, I mean, speaking from personal experience, every time I think I have taken advice from someone who I believe was smarter than me, it's never ended up well for myself. So always do your own research, check out the wallet, and everyone download Telegram.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, sir.